Good morning. It's almost 8:30 a.m. on the East Coast of Florida, and welcome to another episode of Coffee and Tea with OMG. All right, so here we are, starting the second week here in January, and season I don't know what of America. Will she survive? Will the world survive? What the heck is going on here?
It's hard to say what's going to happen.
Wow,
it's tough.
It is tough. And now this weekend, everybody's just sadly scrolling through TikTok, trying to have like last views, or content creators are trying to, create content, all at once. That's what I've been doing. The side hustle here is, getting tough, and we're all kind of packing our bags and going, where are we meeting, everyone?
Yeah, we may have to drag out the cardboard signs and stand on the street corners,
You mean to appeal to someone to save us? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
So
yes.
I know what he's referring to. So what we're seeing on TikTok and other social media, I guess, but is that here is the 11th hour. We've got less than a week, and these are great ideas that are happening, but it's too late. I think it's very last minute, where suddenly everybody's putting out the names of all of the Congress people and senators and everyone who voted against TikTok. They are voting to keep the ban, and yet they use TikTok. And these are Democrats and Republicans, young and old. It was weird. So everyone is flooding them, with protests and all of this to stop this. It's like closing that barn door after the horse is basically almost out. And so, we're always like, who's going to save us? And what he's referring to is when we had one of our hurricanes here, didn't have power for, I don't know if it was 10 days, something like that. And we live on a very small dead-end street that they were not coming here to save us. You had all these linemen who are heroes. They come from all over the country, and they would just be going by, and we've got a truck route, so it's a busy road, but not down our little dead-end street. And it just didn't seem to be a priority at all. And we're desperate. And so finally, what did you do? You made a sign.
Yeah, I made a wooden sign that says Duke Energy, we need power, and I put a happy face on it, and then that didn't seem to work. So I made another sign that I could actually hold up and like twirl, like you see these people on street corners.
It was a sign twirler, yep.
Yeah, and
on a very busy truck route.
Yeah.
That's the corner.
And the trucks were going by. I mean,
they're all waving.
Utility trucks would go by, and then finally one day, a truck just pulled in down our street and said, "You need power?" I said, "Yes." So.
And wasn't he from Oklahoma or something?
He was from Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, he was from.
I think it was Oklahoma.
West Virginia. West Virginia. And he said, and we all had generators running. And he said, "Well, shut all your generators down and give us like 20 minutes, and we'll have you hooked up in no time."
Because he could see that
there was I think it's called a jack. It's like a giant circuit breaker. Well, it kicked off during the storm, and all they had to do was reset.
Just put that. And when we would tell, we had work orders in for our street, we would call, and they'd be like, "No, it has to be the such and such, and the dot all the I's and the T's." And so this guy's like, "Oh, I can do that in seconds," and he did, and he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
And at first, the neighbors were mad at you.
Right.
Some of them, a lot of them thought it was great, and a lot of them thought it was funny because he's twirling that sign. But some people thought he was going to make Duke mad and that they wouldn't come down our street. But after that, he's like the hero of our neighborhood. So you need to make a sign, say "Save TikTok,"
right,
and twirl that.
Yeah, I should do that.
I think you should go to Washington.
I think I'll go right for sure. I'll leave right now.
Okay, that's all right. So, also, of course, we're still keeping an eye, on what's happening in California, which, as we've told people, he has family there, and everyone, it's hard to make content. We know that people are suffering. And so again, we're keeping everyone in our prayers. And now this week are the confirmation hearings for everyone. And, I think it's rich that we are all having to say goodbye to our Chinese handlers, because we're all assets here, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. When we're going to be putting in one of the biggest assets into our house on Pennsylvania Avenue that's white and is a Russian asset. So I don't know why it matters about China or anything else when that's all happening, but I guess we're keeping an eye on that. And the Jack Smith report. I really believe it's going to come out. I believe it's going to come out today.
Ooh,
People
nice.
don't realize that this weekend, even, that was a weekend back and forth. The DOJ, Merrick Garland, Trump's lawyers, the two co-defendants, they were all filings all weekend long. So I've got to go through all that, do some research to see where we are at with that. And you need to go buy some paper from Office Depot because he printed the entire Mueller report. How many? There was 400 pages. It was a lot.
There was a lot of pages.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so now we're going to have to print out Volume 1 of Jack Smith's report if and when it comes out, and then I'm going to have to read it. So yeah, we better. Our printer's going to have to get. It's a lot.
It's going to be smoking.
It's going to be smoking. Now, the other thing we're learning with all these confirmations and whatnot is that Trump still seems to be holding court down there here in Florida at Mar-a-Lago. And word on the street is that he doesn't really want to go to the White House.
No.
He doesn't like it. And he loves to be all in there, at Mar-a-Lago. And if there's anything you ever want to know about Mar-a-Lago, my husband knows. So tell us a little bit about Mar-a-Lago.
Well, Trump wants to make that the Southern White House, but the way Mar-a-Lago got here was Marjorie Merriweather Post was the only heir to the Post fortune when her father suddenly passed.
Post cereals, all of that.
Right, and they also own General Foods. They own Birds Eye. They own tons of stuff. So so she needed a place in Florida. She searched around, and her husband at the time was E.F. Hutton, who's well known.
Remember that E.F. Hutton knows or whatever. That
Yes,
commercial.
when E.F. Hutton speaks, people listen.
There you go.
And so they found this place down South Florida, and it was just a jungle marsh. She crawled through the weeds and the palms and decided, yes, this is what I want. So Mar-a-Lago actually means sea. It translates from to sea to lake.
Really? Because doesn't it sit like that where the view is of the ocean and of a lake?
Of the river.
Right?
Yep.
Of the river, which,
The Halifax.
Mm-hmm.
So then they, so this place was actually finished in 1927 at a cost of $7 million, which in today's money would be $123 million.
Wow.
At the time, it was billed as the most expensive property built by a private citizen in the country.
Wow.
And they imported stuff from Europe, from all over the place. They brought in artisans. 62,000 square feet and 124 rooms. So then it went when she passed in 73, it went to the federal government and they used it they used it for dignitaries for a while.
Okay.
Place to hang out because it was such a beautiful place. And then it got to be kind of expensive to maintain and it went on the market. And Trump bought this in 1985 for the low price of $7 million.
What? Wow.
And
in 1985?
Yeah.
And I know he redecorated all that, but I think, judging from the pictures we saw of the bathroom there, where he stored all of the documents, allegedly, but we saw the pictures, he has not redecorated since 1985.
It still looks the same as it did in 1927. So
It does.
Yeah,
and to me, I mean, I know it's still beautiful or whatever, but when you see him there holding court and it's in the dining room where he tells all of our secrets to Australian businessmen, where our nuclear subs are located, it looks like the kind of fancy-ish, old, not newly decorated senior centers where everybody's eating in the common room and that they're all sitting there like that. And I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, we're not rich enough to belong to any of those kind of clubs. Maybe that's how they look. You golf. Does it look like that in golf clubs?
The only one that even comes close would be Bella Colina in Mount Verdes near Orlando, which is a beautiful golf course, but it looks nothing like Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago was, when she built that, she wanted it to be nothing like anybody's ever seen. She used Spanish, Venetian, and Portuguese people to design and build this place. So.
Wow. Well, let me tell you, this start of the week with so much going on, I think we appreciate you and all of that information about Mar-a-Lago, and we'll see what happens. So we hope everyone has a good week and have a good morning.